Hey, welcome back to YT Finance, and this is the channel where I went to business school so you didn't need to, and today we are talking about Sofi Technologies SOFI stock and why I am buying the dip on this stock. We're also going to talk about the latest stock news in terms of the SOFI stock, why it has been trending downward lately, when it's going to rebound, how soon is it going to reach profitability, how is their financials and fundamentals looking, why is the CEO as well as other insiders buying even more stock, and is Sofi Technologies a good stock to own right now and for the long term? We're going to be going over all of these questions along with some Sofi stock analysis and price targets among professionals. And with that being said, remember to go and smash that like button right now for more videos like this one. Subscribe if you are new. Comment your thoughts down below about the SOFI stock. Without further ado, let's jump right into today's stories. So Sofi Technologies, ticker symbol SOFI, is a fintech company, and they offer an all-in-one inclusive digital app that gives their customers anything they could possibly or probably need in terms of financial services and or financial products. The main goal for Sofi Technologies is to disrupt the respected industry, and they are managing to do this, which is why I personally am invested into this high growth and very innovative company. Sofi Technologies is currently on their way to completely transforming their respected industry, but lately the SOFI stock price has been trending downward due to negative macroeconomic factors such as rising inflation, increasing interest rates, as well as investors and traders liquidating their stocks or even shorting stocks and investing into bonds. Right now, the SOFI stock price trades for around $7 per share. So we're going to discuss if this dip is a good buying opportunity, and I definitely say it is, and I'm putting my money where my mouth is because I personally am buying the SOFI stock, and I'm averaging down my average cost for the company as long as it doesn't push me past an allocation of 5% of my portfolio worth. So let's dig deeper to discuss why Sofi stock is a good buying opportunity, and we're going to start off with the fundamentals of the company. If you didn't know, the company had a very impressive first quarter where they added around 408,000 new members, and their total members now come in at around 3.9 million, which would represent an increase or a growth rate for their membership of around 70%. Also, they are improving their financial services segment, their technology platform, as well as their lending products. So this is going to further boost their overall revenues and hopefully appease investors. However, although the first quarter was very impressive, the second quarter guidance isn't anticipated to be as impressive. So we could see the stock price continuously trend downward until after the second quarter. But during this time, I do believe, as well as other analysts and even financial reporters, that this company is a good company to average down your average cost on if you are already not overexposed to the company. Right now, the author highlights that the market is overreacting in terms of the SOFI stock price, and the Sofi Technology stock doesn't deserve to suffer like this based on the fundamentals and financials that the company is currently bringing in or already has. This is why a Piper Sandler analyst named Kevin Barker, who we already talked about, actually upgraded the SOFI stock price, and he has a price target of around $12 for the company, which is a substantial increase from $7. And he also believes that the company is going to continue on their very strong growth trajectory from now throughout the year of 2023. We're also going to talk about how in 2024, specifically by the end of 2024, the company is set to become profitable, which means that buying the current dip is a golden buying opportunity, according to this author, to buy a position in the SOFI stock price as long as you are already not overexposed. And particularly, the author is highlighting long-term investors here. This is not for stock traders, and this is not for the lighthearted. You're going to have to be willing to hold this company regardless about what it does in the next 3 years, so you're going to have to make a contract with yourself to not sell this for the next 5 to 10 years, because that's what long-term holding means. Now, why would you want to hold this company for the long term? Well, let's find out. So right now, shareholders should actually be happy because we are seeing over the past month that the SOFI stock price has increased by around 13%. However, with that being said, the company itself, apart from the stock, still has fantastic increases in revenues, and it's growing very fast, which is two things that we really want to see, because for a growth company, that's what we're going to use to project how good the company is financially, and we can use this to extrapolate and forecast future profits. So in the last year, SoFi Technologies saw a revenue growth by around 61%, while its stock price actually has fallen by around 60%. So clearly those two things do not add up whatsoever. If anything, if the revenue is increasing, then so should the stock price theoretically. However, right now is a time of major market volatility and investors are not thinking straight. We also know that the company is headed toward profitability by the end of 2024. This red X that I put on screen is either the beginning of 2025 or the end of 2024 when they are projected to become profitable. So the green line on screen is for their earnings, the red line is their free cash flows, the yellow line is cash flows from operations, and their blue line, which is developing very well, is their overall revenues. So at a minimum, you could put this company on a watch list because I do think the SoFi stock price will continue to trend lower, at least from now until the second quarter, but this also depends on the overall stock market. It could trend down for a very long period of time, but I think that the stock price doesn't actually deserve it, because just in the last 3 months, the SoFi stock price has dropped by around 34%. And this is mainly because investors have spotted some problems with SoFi Technologies that we have talked about in previous videos. However, despite any downtrends in the stock overall, the company is very fundamentally solid. And the main reason why the stock price is dropping is because many small firms, particularly technology growth stocks, that have very large market caps and that are trading based off of a future valuation, have been hit absolutely extremely hard due to the current market environment. Because if you look at the general market, everything basically is falling right now. It's not just SoFi. Another reason for this is that many investors and the overall sentiment for the SoFi stock price is negative, which is why the SoFi stock price has around a 22% short interest, which is extremely high. However, on the bright side, this could mean that if we experience a rally, we could have a short squeeze for the stock, which could boost the SoFi stock price very significantly. However, this does indicate that many people see further downside opportunity in the SoFi stock into the future. But to me, that just offers me a better buying opportunity because, again, fundamentally, the company is doing very well. Right now, we are teetering either on a global recession or a second half of a global recovery, and these next couple of months is going to dictate which one is going to be correct. Are we going to rally back and regain our recovery, or is the stock market going to go into a full-on recession? Because technically right now we're basically in a bear market. So if the stock prices go down, the SoFi short sellers are going to win the day. However, if you are a stock investor who has been in the market for a long time, you understand how market cycles work, and this is just a part of the game. Don't have a trader mindset or a short-term mindset. Take the positive guidance for the future stock price appreciation for this company and take it to the bank, because an investment right now could pay off years further down the road as long as you are willing to wait, and that's what true investors do, because they know that the stock that they're investing into is going to be worth more in the long run, and I 100% agree with that. And so does the CEO of SoFi Technologies, as well as other insiders for this company. And the reason I say that is because we have seen a lot of quote-unquote smart money start buying the SoFi stock price right now, and I really want to follow the smart money, because the smart money is saying that SoFi's stock is undervalued right now. But how do we know this? Well, we can just look at what Wall Street is modeling for SoFi Technologies' fiscal year of 2022 based on their revenues, which is anticipated to come in at around $1.5 billion. We also know that although the student loan moratorium has now been extended around 6 different times, SoFi Technologies has brought in very impressive revenues, and they have actually increased their revenues for their lending business by around 45% in quarter one year over year. So this is extremely positive. So it begs the question, is this company a good investment? Well, considering our risk to reward ratio, I would say yes, mainly following what the CEO of the company is doing. The CEO himself has increased the number of shares that he owns by around 45% since June 30th of last year. So when insiders or the CEO or any directors sell a company, this could be for a plethora of reasons, but we're really not seeing that for SoFi Technologies, but we are seeing the opposite, and normally there's only one main reason that insiders buy the company that they're currently running, and it's because either the stock price is undervalued, or it means that the insiders believe that the company's stock price is going to be worth way more in the future. And I actually 100% agree with them, because SoFi Technologies has around a $13 trillion addressable market. And with this fast growing company, I think even if they get a fraction of that total addressable market, they are well on their way to being a mega cap company in the future. Very similarly, I would actually compare them somewhat to Ally Bank. Now, based on the buying habits of insiders for this company, so the people that own this company, clearly they are extremely bullish on it and they think that the company is undervalued. For instance, on May 20th, the CEO bought 27,000 shares for an average price of $7.31. That would be around $200,000 that he has just invested into his own company. Likewise, the day before that, he bought around 13,500 shares at an average stock price of $7.78 per share, to where now he owns around 3.23 million shares of his company. On the other hand, we have directors of SoFi Technologies, particularly on May 13th, that bought around 15,000 shares at an average stock price of $6.50. This would amount to around $100,000, to where now that director owns around 229,852 shares. Also, I want to mention that their head of operations purchased around 5,000 shares on March 14th at an average stock price of around $7.98, to where now he owns close to 150,000 shares. So over the last year, insiders have sold around 181 million shares of SoFi Technologies, but they have bought around 405 million shares. So this clearly indicates a net positive of around $224 million. And this would indicate if you have your average stock price or average cost basis below $8 for SoFi Technologies, you are sitting very pretty right now. So ideally, you would want to get your average cost basis below $8. Or if you haven't already invested into this company, buying the stock below $8 is going to be an ideal scenario, which is why I personally am doubling down on the stock. But again, I'm not going to let it exceed 5% of my portfolio based on an initial investment. But with that being said, I would love to hear your thoughts. Comment your thoughts down below. Subscribe if you are new. Smash the like button right now if you want more videos like this one, and I will see you in the next YT video.